Okay. Good morning, Year 7. So what we are going to be doing today is we're just going to be finishing off and summarising this topic of feeding relationships, which is what we've been looking at. So a few things for you to do. Today you're going to do some of your own revision, which means you're going to have to go back and look at some of the notes you've done in previous lessons. Also, in assignments, there are 3 video links that I would like you to help use to do your revision. And then next week, so that is the Tuesday the 9th, I'm actually in school, so I'm going to just simply set you the end of term, or sorry, end of test, sorry, end of topic test, and you simply log in, access it, give it your best shot, and then upload it once you've finished. Okay, so today I'm just going to do a quick review of feeding relationships. So let me just explain how it's going to work. So very quickly, just taking a quick step back, what you can see here is an example of a pyramid which represents a feeding pattern. Okay, so firstly, you've got your primary producers. These are things like plants. So hopefully you remember this. Plants are called this because they produce their own food from sunlight, okay, and use carbon dioxide and water. Now, let's have a quick look. It starts with 6,000 kilocalories per square meter per year. That means that this tree could maybe produce 6,000 calories of energy for every meter in 1 year. But we move up the food chain. Think about what maybe eats plants. Okay, so our primary consumers are herbivores. Birds might eat the seeds, cows eat grass, deer, same kind of thing, mouse eat seeds and nuts, things like that. They only get 600 kilocalories for every meter for every year. Okay, so as you can see, they have less energy available to them as they move up the food chain. So you need to think, where is this energy actually going? What process are these herbivores, these primary consumers, doing in order to keep alive? But also, why are they not getting the full 6,000? If we just have a look, where is the rest of that energy going? Well, do the animals eat the stem? Probably not. Okay. The tree also would use some of the energy that it makes to keep itself alive, to do what process to keep itself alive? Have a think about that. Okay, so as we go up the food chain even further, there are animals that eat these. So these are your secondary consumers. These tend to be predators. Okay, so we've got an eagle, a skunk, a fox, and a snake. So these will eat those primary consumers, but to them, only 60 calories is available for, per square meter every year. Okay, so again, energy is less, but why? Think, what are these animals doing that's meaning that energy is being lost, that it's not available to this? And then finally, we get to the very top, your tertiary consumers, your top predators, things like a bear. Now, they will only get 6 calories per meter square for every year. So this actually explains rather a lot. If you think about a typical woodland, you would have thousands and thousands of plants and trees, millions probably, and you would have maybe a few hundred primary consumers, so a mouse or bird per given area, then maybe just a few secondary consumers. But if only 6 calories are available for every meter for every year, creatures like bears would need a big area in order to get all the energy they need. So it kind of explains why you will only have a few bears in, say, an area of woodland 20 square miles, but you might have well, dozens, maybe hundreds of these, thousands of these, and millions of these. Okay, because the energy available to them gets lost, so there isn't as much energy to support them. So that's just a quick explanation of how this works. Now, what you are going to do today is you are going to go back through your work on this topic. Okay, so photosynthesis, respiration, adaptation. What else did you do? You did pyramids of numbers and pyramids of biomass. Let's just double check what you actually did, just remind myself. So photosynthesis, respiration, food chains, food webs, pyramids, and energy. Okay, so let's just say, for example, we look at respiration. So what you could do is you could take one of these branches and call that respiration. What we need to do is review your work and think, what do we know about respiration? Okay, so you could start to think about how or what links to respiration. So what kind of things can we say that? Well, we could also say that links to, say, glucose. Okay, we know we need glucose for respiration. However, we also need glucose in another main part, photosynthesis. Actually, photosynthesis means glucose is made. Okay, so actually there's a link there, and you could explain that link. Now I've just drawn an arrow, but maybe you could explain that link using the arrow. So I might have to make my writing quite small here, but you could say something like glucose is made in photosynthesis by combining water and carbon dioxide and used in respiration. Now that's a really good explanation because it explains the link. I've just sort of put that next to my arrow so you can see what I've done there. So what I would like you to do is do your own version of this spider diagram, and I want you to go back through your notes and explain some of the links. So you've got respiration and photosynthesis, but other things you might have would be, say for example, pyramids of numbers and biomass. Okay, you might need to put some explanations. Maybe you could put some diagrams in there to show how they work. Then there was food chains, which was another lesson that we did. Food chains and food webs. So what would you put in? Maybe you do that and then have a couple of examples of food, simple food chains or food webs down here. So I've done this quite compact, but leave yourself plenty of room to annotate it properly. Okay. Right. So by the time you've watched the videos, reviewed your work and have started to draw this will probably take you most of the lesson to do this. Okay. So really take the time to consider what we've learned. So check back through your book, and I'm not going to ask you to upload this because it's your own personal revision. I have suggested a spider diagram, but if you would prefer, I'm more than happy for you to do revision cards or some other way of revising. And by all means, use the internet to help you with your revision. Okay, you could go online and look at Key Stage 3 feeding relationships, or Key Stage 3 food webs, food chains, or Key Stage 3 respiration, photosynthesis, whatever you think is necessary that will help you revise. The main part of this is making sure that you are confident with the material and pretty prepared for next week's end of topic test. Okay, because usually I'll be online to help you during the topic test. Because I'm in school next Tuesday, I will try and keep an eye on it, but I can't guarantee that I'll be there to help right away. So you might just have to crack on with it then. Okay, Year 7. So for today, I will be online to help you. So good luck, and I will see you hopefully soon. Take care.